Should you get and build Shu? Short answer, yes. Long answer. This entire video.
ニェンからすでに聞いていると思うけど、私はシュウよ。長兄と長子に妹2人までここにいるから、まるで家に戻ったみたい。大したものね。司祭台のあの男の子、まだあなたたちのとこを嗅ぎつけてないの
Shu, an agricultural Tianxi instructor of the Yanese Tianxi bureaus, who has been living in the northern Yanese agriculture center of Dahong for many years, and has produced abundant research results related to agriculture. Following the recent incident that happened in the city, Shu is currently on the Rhodes Island landship, with an intention to visit her relatives. She is said to be the 6th fragment of the Sui. So that basically means she is younger than Chongyu and Ling, but older than Yin and Dusk. Overall, many see her arrival to the landship as a blessing. Considering how much of a help she is in improving our food standard. She is friendly, and many also like her cooking. And it appears many also came to her to get some sort of fortune telling. But we advise anyone to not ask her to predict lottery numbers again. Unless you want to know the taste of Asian mom's wrath. Alright, Shu is a limited 6-star guardian defender. She protects, she heals, and she welcomes you to the rice fields. Guardians are a reliable defender, with healing abilities to sustain themselves, as well as providing healing to others, and is oftentimes a perfect medic substitute. Most of the time they also provide various types of support utility. Basically you can never go wrong with them. Unless the operator name is Hung, I guess. Then let's see her stats. Shu has a medium cost, and has high defensive stats as you would often see in a defender. Though compared to other defenders archetype, guardians are not very tanky. But of course they have their healing to make up for it. And a bit of resistance so that they can withstand arts damage a bit more. Now let's talk about her talents. Shu's talent 1 is amazing. Every time she heals someone, she will buff the target's surrounding tiles, or as the game calls it, sow seed on those tiles. And whoever stands on it will receive regeneration healing every second, which let me remind you, can heal enmity operators, and summon unit. As well as sanctuary effect, to reduce incoming arts and physical damage. Though from what I know the effect can't be stacked. But still it's a very useful utility that lets her provide healing while her skill is not ready. And the requirement is easy to meet, because she just needs to heal. However, she can't heal enmity units, so you need to heal someone else first to create that green tile. One trick I often use to freely create these tile, without needing the operators to be hurt by enemies first, is using someone like a Geek specialist, or Fear Meta. And keep in mind when Shu is gone, those tiles will also disappear. Moving on, this is her talent 2. It gives various buffs depending on the other operators you bring along. If 3 operators with different classes are on the field, everyone will get max HP buff. If 3 operators have the same class, they will get attack speed instead. Additionally, if you simply bring 4 Sui operators, everyone will receive attack and SP recovery bonus. Well, this is all a pretty useful buff. Though the last effect is no doubt restricting. Because all Sui operators are 6-star and limited, and not everyone has them in their account. So can we get F in the chat for everyone who doesn't have at least 3 Sui operators, including my CN account? Oh yes. Do remember the first 2 buffs still need Shu to be deployed. Then this is her potential upgrade list. A pretty good upgrade, but much like everyone else, she can live without extra pot. Then let's see her module. Currently Shu only has the X module, which will increase her healing amount when the target is below 50% HP. As well as increasing her max HP, attack and defense. As for the upgrade, it will enhance her first talent. Level 2 will increase the regeneration healing, while level 3 will increase the sanctuary effect. And when deployed, immediately give buff to the tile she's on. Well, I suppose it's a good module to pursue if you want to make her tankier and provide more effective healing, especially if Shu is your main defender. Now let's talk skills. Skill 1 is your typical Guardian S1, where she will heal someone near her when their HP gets below 50%. And conveniently, this skill can hold charges. Despite being a first skill, and is very simple. But this is a very reliable skill for a Guardian to have. And you probably will still use it even after unlocking her skill 3. Either because you don't need the burst healing and utilities those other skills provide, or you just like AFK gameplay. As for skill 2, Shu stops attacking and focuses on healing 2 units in range. Attack increase, and talent 1 effect multiply, making Shu able to provide healing burst, and strengthening her Egan and Sanctuary. So with that, if you play a lot with enmity units, this is probably the best skill for you. Her block is also increased by 1 with this. So this skill will be useful in handling big crowds, or blocking certain enemies temporarily. Last but not least, her skill 3. Unlike skill 2, she can attack and heal at the same time. And her range expands to something like Zarya S3. She gets attack bonus, and everyone within range will get attack and attack speed buff. But first someone needs to stand on the green tile, which is not something you need to worry about, especially if you have unlocked a level 3 module. But here is what makes this skill interesting, and what makes Shu unique. If enemies enter and move some tiles away from the green tile, they will be teleported back again and again, until the skill ends. No doubt it's a strong healing and stalling skill. And you can make some interesting and funny strats with this. Then for skill mastery priority, typically you want to go with skill 3 first. It's a strong healing skill, and that teleportation is what makes her unique. The mastery will increase its bonus, reduce cost, and ultimately decrease the distance requirement from 3 to 2 tiles. Then the next one to master really depends on you. Most will suggest her S1 because it's reliable, and the mastery is very impactful. But I think you should only do that if you haven't mastered a similar skill in Zarya, or even Neryl and Baseline. Unless you specifically need or only want to use Shu. As for S2, mostly you want to use and master it, if you play with Enmity and Summoner a lot. And if you do, the mastery gain is actually pretty good. Otherwise, I suggest you use her other skills for healing, and perhaps rely other operators if you need 4 blocks. As for her base skills, almost the same as Ji-yoon. When Shu is in the factory, she will reduce moral consumption and increase productivity by plus 1% per every 3 worldly plate provided by other operators. So ladies and gents, should you get and build Shu? Shu is an amazing guardian, with a crazy heal, unique S3, and tons of other useful utilities. That is useful for veterans and newbie. She even has a way to deal with what I think is Guardian's biggest drawback. And that is unable to heal during off skill. So I really recommend you get her, if you need a defender with a more support type. Even if you have already built other 6-star Guardians. You can pretty much consider Shu as an upgrade from them. Especially Zarya, whose abilities are pretty much similar to Shu. Although you can also argue you don't need Shu, because Zarya already provide more or less the same thing. But anyway, do remember Shu is limited. If you don't get her during her debut, it will be more difficult, and long before you can get a chance to obtain her again. That should be all. Adios.